So we're using the flight scope technology tonight, which we have at Burgess Hill driving range. It's free to use, free to do one of these sessions. If you want to try anything out in comparison to the clubs you've got, all you've got to do is pay for your bucket of balls, and the flight scope accurately measures how far the ball's gone, how far left or right, and how consistent you are. So this is what it looks like. This is the R11s driver, TaylorMade's 2012 driver. As you can see, you've got manoeuvrability in the bottom of the club, and so you can have it on a neutral setting, N for neutral, and you've got closed settings and open settings. Some people are scared of all of this, and you don't really need to change it at all. There's a couple of guys in the shop here that have R11 drivers, and they don't ever fiddle around with it at all. But potentially it could just offer you more distance if you were to have a go and get into trying a few different settings out, which you can do on the flight scope here at Burgess Hill. Also, you've got weights in the side of the head, either side, to help draw in the ball or fade in the ball, and then on the shaft, like the R11 driver, you can change the settings. So you've got a neutral setting as a standard loft. This one's obviously 10.5 degree driver, but you can switch that around and add loft or take loft away to the driver, adding or decreasing by 1.5 degrees. So here's the results page for Tim trialling the R11s versus his own driver, which is the R11 driver. You might not be able to see it too clearly, but the R11s driver is carrying further. It's actually carrying 11 yards further on average. These distances are affected by the range balls, so a normal Pro V1 or a Pinnacle or any ball really is going to be higher quality than any range ball. So therefore we can add 10% to these distances as well to get even more distance. The lateral, Tim's old driver on average was going 12.8 yards out to the right, and now it only goes 3.1 yards to the right. Now, quite interestingly, one of the reasons why Tim's hitting the R11s further is because he's getting more ball speed off of the club face at impact. Normally, a club moving faster at the ball would increase the ball speed, but interestingly in this situation, the club head was actually moving slower for the R11s, yet Tim was getting a better connection with the R11s, which created more ball speed. So less club head speed with the R11s, but the ball was actually launching faster, which is one of the big reasons why he's hit it further. Backspin remains pretty much the same for both drivers. The side spin creating a little bit of right to left on average with the R11s, and pretty much a straight ball flight with his own driver. The launch angles, Tim was launching the R11s 1 degree higher than his own driver, and that's another factor which can improve overall distance to get a optimum vertical launch angle. The R11s was launching less out to the right than his own driver, and overall the ball flight was higher for the R11s driver. So a lot of statistics there, but most of them are components to the bottom line, which is he's hit the R11s further, and he's hit it more consistently. These are on a neutral setting for the club, and the R11s has multiple different choices of settings. So the flight scope is a really important piece of kit to help you determine what's the best club for you. It tracks the ball through its flight. Unlike hitting a ball in a net, if you just try clubs out in a net, then the only measurement you're really going to be able to accurately get is the club head speed. And in this case, it's the R11s. There's actually the club heads actually move slower, 95.8 miles per hour, whereas the old drive was 97.4 miles per hour. So if you just use that piece of information and you tried out clubs in a net, then in this case you'd walk out with the wrong club, because you'd actually lose distance, because you can see the ball speed is actually slightly increased with the R11s driver over the old driver. It's got some distance on it. Nice one. So, do you think that's good enough to get you on the USPGA tour then?
I don't know about that, but I reckon I can do it past you.
Alright, it's a bit hard, isn't it? It's obviously getting late, you're obviously just getting a bit tired, and I don't know what you're saying.